You know how to write loops, conditional statement, and functions. I'm sure about this. But when it comes to solving a problem, you go blank. This video is going to change the way you think and code using the power of bottom to top approach and mind maps. In any question, more or less the common mistake student does is something which we call as top to bottom approach. That means the first thing you will think about any problem is what input is needed, what process I would do on it, and then finally what output it would give. But it doesn't work that way. Think about a real life instance. आप पानी कब पियोगे? जब प्यास लगी है तो। आप जिम कब जाओगे? जब आपको फिट होना है तो। That means everything around us is more of something which we call as output driven. And that's exactly the concept called object oriented programming. Have you thought about what's the difference between procedure oriented code and object oriented code? The difference is the way you think or from where you start thinking. Object oriented programming, which is heavily used in industries for one reason. आप हर बार ऑब्जेक्टिव बेस्ड सोचते हो. सी ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग, ऑब्जेक्टिव आउटपुट. अगर आउटपुट आया then people are gonna pay you, and that's exactly what we are trying to do. So object oriented programming is a process where we should be following for natural process and for natural thinking. That means a code should not be pursued in a manner of input then the process and then output. Wrong हो. आपको ये सोचना पड़ेगा what output is needed, and on that basis you will be then going through something which we call as process, and फिर सोचना पड़ेगा इसके लिए क्या input चाहिए. Now that means I'm trying to tell you that you will be going from bottom to top. That means the first thing you'll be thinking about what output is needed. That's the objective of your code. If you are able to satisfy that, तो ही लोग आपका प्रोग्राम यूज करेंगे, यानी आउटपुट ड्रिवन. That's the first thing. Once you are very clear what output is needed, the second thing you should be concentrating is the process behind it. That means how would you derive that output needed? वो output कैसे आएगा, वो आपका process है. And if you understand very clearly the process, you will able to understand the input needed to start the process. And then you should be start coding when it comes to output, process, and input, all three things in your head. How would you do that? Simple. Use a mind map. And how would you use mind map? Don't worry, मैं हूं ना. Okay, so what is mind map? It's not out of the world. It's gonna be very simple. It's just scribbling something what your mind has. That's why it is called mind map. Generally made with circle and then the levels of mind map. That means you start with one initial circle and then grow slowly and steadily. Now let me help you off to understand what are we talking. So consider a normal thing. I want a normal program area of circle. So I'm right now talking with reference to Python. You can do exactly this with reference to C, C++, Java, or any language. So suppose find area of a circle. Let's try to understand how I would work with. Now the first thing for me is important is what is the question in hand so that I can decide remaining stuff. So I'm very clear it's an area of a circle. That's what we are trying to work. So let's see what can be done with that. So the first thing I'll be talking about area of a circle in my mind. So my mind map starts exactly from that. So here goes. Not making some big focus. In fact, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So I want is area of circle. Now the first thing I want is very, very careful. This is the output which I want to produce area of a circle. I'm very clear about this. Very good. Now with reference to output going, the first thing I know that area of a circle is 3.14 into r square. That's how the area would be. Very good. Now looking at this thing, let's understand. I started with the core concept of what was the output needed. Area of a circle. That made me question what is area of a circle in terms of formula. So I got the process. That the process is gonna be simple. It is 3.14 into r into r. Now one more thing I'll get from this. In order to get this detail, what exactly I intend to read from the user, that would be simply I have to read this r. That's input. So if you're seeing carefully, it's a very simple mind map which I created where I have spoken about start from what is needed. then go one step up and talk about how would you get that, and then finally talk about for getting that process, what input you need from the user. So in terms of operation, what I'm targeting to be more precise is first the output needed, second is the process, and third in turn is the input. So if I want to understand this in a more simpler manner, let's try to understand what I did is called as the reverse of development triangle. Now this what I'm drawing is called development triangle. The logic is pretty simple. You concentrate on the output, that's the first step. The second step is the process to get that output. And the third step is the input needed. If you follow procedure oriented language like C, it goes this way. So it is called top to bottom approach. That means it says first you go with the input, then the process, and then the output. But when you talk about object oriented programming, maybe C++, Java, and Python, it says no, we'll be going reverse way around. We will be first talking about what output is needed, then talking about the process needed to produce that output, and then finally talking about the input needed. That is bottom to top approach, and that is more simple. Why? Because it's more logical. You would be output driven. In fact, your entire career is output driven. ये भूलना मत. आपको कंपनी तब हायर करेगा जब उनका आउटपुट आप ला सकते हो. आपको कंपनी प्रमोशन तब देगा जब आप वो आउटपुट प्रोड्यूस कर सकते हो. हाउ? दैट्स योर प्रॉब्लम. हाउ? दैट्स योर कैलिबर. सो इसीलिए आउटपुट ड्रिवन वर्ल्ड में हम लोग आउटपुट से ही सोचते हैं, उसके लिए सोचते हैं कि प्रोसेस क्या होगा, और उस प्रोसेस के लिए सोचते हैं क्या इनपुट होगा. दैट्स हाउ वी वर्क विद. Second thing, fine, Amar, I'm done with this. But how I'm gonna work with the coding? This is more of a diagram. No, this is the code itself. Now, to make it more simple, let me help you this way. Let's concentrate each part of the circle more in detail so that we can understand what are we talking about. So I'm going now. In terms of coding, you will go from obviously third step, that is input, to output. So now from here, I'll understand. Amar, I want to read. If it is Python, let's understand. Amar, I'll read R, which is gonna be a float, which would be taking an input, and I would say enter R. So in my mind, I'm clear with the code. Here, Amar, it's way simple. Float we will categorize to work with, and we'll be taking the input. Input done. Then let's go to the process. Again, I'm very clear, Amar. I'll be doing this way. Area is equal to 3.14 into R, and if it's a Python, we have a square option. So that's a power simple. It's a square. And then finally, Amar, I'm done. I'll go for the third part, and it will simply say print. My job is done. So if you see bigger picture in all three, what I did, I started with a simple diagram, and then I started extending that. The diagram only had output needed, the process needed, and that process gave us the input needed. This is the core concept, how you can actually understand and work further. For anything, the most common mistake student does is looking at the code, they will straight away start. Never. You should be doing more in a simple manner is first understand the problem, break it down to output, process, and input, then understand what coding part you require, and then you start with the code. So if now somebody asks me about now can we code this, yes, because I am practically ready. So if I intend to write a Python file, I'll be saying R is equal to float input, working with, enter R, I'm done. So I did the first part of reading the input. So fine, reading is done. Amar, wasn't this the third and the last part? No, but in terms of coding, I'll have to start with the input. But logic building is quite different. Ulta, sambhal ke. So once that is done, I'll say our second step was the process. So we did area is equal to 3.14 into R square. Super. Go with it. So I'll say area is equal to 3.14 into R into 2. Super. My job is done. What is the third part? Okay, the third part which we are talking about is to print. Area is colon, comma, area. It's as simple as this. See, if this made sense to you right now, is for one reason. मैंने सीधा क्वेश्चन से चालू नहीं किया. Area of a circle. What I did was to start the things in steps. I again go through. First, think about what is output. Then think about how do you get the output. That's the process. And then finally, the process itself will tell you what input you need to give it to so that the process can run. That will give you the input needed. Then simply in your head replace them with needed data. For example, we know read r is basically how Python would say of float input enter r. We would simply understand with reference to calculating the process area equal to 3.14 into r square becomes a very simple option. And finally, to talk about to print the area, which was the needed job. And then simply after looking at the paper, I'm very clear it's a 3-line code which I'm clear with. I'm reading area, sorry, reading radius and then calculating area and then finally printing. It works in a very simple manner. So I would request students always to work in this manner to develop their code. Then it becomes very, very easy. Hope people are clear. By giving this example, don't you think coding is easy? Why it was easy in this case is very simple. I give you a question. I broke it down into three parts. That we started with the concept of output, then we broke it to the process, and then finally the input. This was done with a graphical memory. By default, user or students or a human has it in a more natural manner. So I made use of graphical memory, that is the mind map. I started with the output, then to get that output, I constructed the process, and to get that process, I constructed the input. I made blocks very clear in my head that input, process, output. But while thinking, I started with what output was needed, how was the process, and for process, what input is needed. We got everything on a paper. Looking at that diagram, then I substituted entire thing with reference to the coding or the command. That means when there was written enter R, we substituted with R equal to float input enter radius. Where there was written that area is equal to pi r square, we substituted with area is equal to 3.14 into R, making R square. And then finally, where it was print area of a circle, I just said print area is comma area itself which we calculated. When you do this, your efficiency is on maximum and you should be able to practice and work with this technique in a very easy manner. In fact, most of the coding theory always tell this concept that first be clear with what you're coding, then coding becomes easier. The problem is we are trying to find solution and trying to code at the same time. You will never be able to make that impact or never be able to be a good programmer. See, who is a developer? A developer is a person who knows what is the problem, what output is needed, constructs a solution for it. And how he does that? He always starts thinking about the output. Then, for that output, he or she constructs the process, algorithm, or the method, and that process or algorithm would require certain input. It's a more natural form of thinking. And why do you think entire industry talks about object-oriented programming? Because by default, object-oriented programming is a more natural form of thinking, allowing you to go from bottom to top, allowing you to think from what output is needed, what process would be needed for it, and finally, what input is needed for it. Just follow this step, and I'm very sure you will be great in coding. If you still want to practice more, okay, I'm giving you a list of 10 questions in description, which you can go through and practice mind map and then code. This is practically language independent. You can, if you're a C coder, try it with C. If you're a Python coder, try with Python. If you're a Java coder, code it with Java or even C++. But practice this 10 codes with mind map and then code. And believe me, things would be different. I'd love to get your comments on the video that how it made a difference, or you tried, what was your experience, you want to ask some question. Again, the link of the form to reach me is given. You guys can always reach me. But guys, please try to practice this, and I guarantee you to see a difference in just this basic steps, making you a better developer and a faster coder. Try it. Till that time, Amar Panchal signing off. Hi there. We are trying to build community of learners over here, so your support is crucial. If you like these videos, please consider subscribing and hit the bell notification so that you do not miss any new material. Also, sharing the video with your friends and colleagues help us to share knowledge. And most important, keep learning.